Hey everyone, and welcome to Screams After Midnight TV Edition. I'm Peter, that is Tim, and we of course are working our way through Tales From the Crypt, the original HBO anthology horror series. This is going to be Season 4, Episode 2, it's called This'll Kill You, which honestly feels like a really lame title when we had,
Oh yeah.
Yeas'll Kill You last season. It's like, they already did a pun on it, they already did like a fancy version, and then this
Yeah.
season it's just, here's just This'll Kill You. Oh, great.
I mean, we know someone dies every episode. It's not like
That is
it's not
true.
a surprise.
So so full spoilers for the episode, first and foremost. So this is an episode about a character named George, who is kind of a cocky guy he's a scientist, but it seems like his two partners, Sophie and Pack, are the actual proper scientists. He's more of like a PR guy, if
Yeah.
anything. And he is constantly getting on their nerves because he keeps announcing things premature. He's trying to draw up press for things that aren't ready to be announced to the public and all that kind of thing. He's also kind of abusive. He's got a
Oh, yeah.
he's got a very abusive relationship with Sophie, who he's sleeping with, even though she seems to resist him almost every time he goes, and then just kind of gives in after a bit
Yeah.
of, well, I guess we'll call it sexual assault.
I mean, if someone called this dude a rapist, I probably wouldn't argue.
Yeah, yeah. He's. I think he's
I mean,
he's definitely over a line. Is he over that line? Close to it.
and I mean, I guess it's like it's technically consensual, but it's like everything leading up to it isn't.
Yeah, it's kind of like he's. It's the sex equivalent of a kid just screaming at his parent until she gives in. It's like, oh,
Kinda,
I
yeah,
want a tie.
actually.
I want a tie. I want a tie. I want a tie. Shut up, Timmy. I want a tie. I want a tie. I want. Oh, fine then. Have the tie. It's basically the equivalent of that.
Yeah, actually, that's a really good example.
And then eventually she's like, "Oh, fine, fine. We'll just have sex." That's basically how that went. But very heated exchange. She's very angry with him. Admittedly, she seems angry with him all the time. But to be fair, given the way he is, it seems like she's probably justified to be angry with him all the time. He's a bit of an
Oh,
asshole.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, he's Dylan McDermott. He's kind of an asshole by default.
Yeah.
So he keeps doing this, and eventually he takes insulin for his diabetes, and they establish this early on. And he keeps his insulin in the case with all the other like experimental drugs they're working on, which seems like a really bad idea. And then eventually it seems like the other two intentionally, accidentally inject him with the wrong thing so that he's going to die, and that's kind of the plot of the episode. So Tim,
Yeah.
did you enjoy This'll Kill You?
No, I did not. This was I don't want to say the worst episode of the series, because I'd have to go back and think too much about the ones that I didn't like. But this was pretty bad. I thought it was super boring. I didn't really like any of the characters. Like, obviously the main character is like a super asshole, but I didn't really like any of the other characters either. And it has a really stupid ending that makes everything like go like, oh wow, this was all like pretty inconsequential and pointless.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not ready to call it the worst one. Definitely bottom
Yeah.
five of all the ones we've
Oh
done.
sure.
I
Yeah.
can definitely say that with comfort, but I feel there's maybe one or two that I hated more.
Yeah.
That this ultimately was just kind of like there was nothing fun. There was no interesting
No.
ideas. Everything felt contrived. Like he keeps his insulin in the cabinet next to the experimental drug
Yeah.
which basically they describe it in this as it fights the sort of the virus or the cancer or whatever by outpacing it with its own and killing it. So basically, if it is injected to someone without like before they've figured out how to like contain it, because that's the whole thing here is that they'll still try to figure out how to control it and stop it from going too far or whatever. So if it's injected
Yeah.
to someone, you'll basically just get a bunch of tumors and die. Like that's at least how they describe it when they think he's been injected with it. So yeah, he keeps his insulin next to that jar. Why is the jar of their experimental drug that they're actively working on at the back of the cabinet as well? I don't understand. I feel like that would be at the front.
Yeah. I don't know. It's so stupid. The maybe like the one cool thing about it that I liked is that shot was kind of cool when they injected it into him. and it kind of like goes into his body and bloodstream and stuff. Um,
Yeah, I
I thought
guess.
that looked kind of cool, but other than that,
It just because it sets up this whole thing where he drags Pac because after
Mhm.
he gets injected. They're all, oh crap, you injected him in the wrong thing, and they all pretend like it's an
Mhm.
accident. And then later
Yeah.
on, he goes to the bar that he always goes to, and the bartender mentions that they all two are in celebrating something. And
Mhm.
he's like, "Damn, they killed me!" And he goes back to her apartment, which he's got a key for, because that's when he kind of sexually assaulted her earlier on.
Yeah.
And he comes in and he listens to her answer machine, and like Pac openly talks about, "Oh, we messed with his insulin. I feel kind of guilty." And now I
Mhm.
actually guessed right away they didn't actually kill him. Like it was a prank,
Yeah.
and it was just to make him think he was dying. And really, what they just injected him with was something harmless. Like that's what I
Mhm.
was assuming at this point, and that turns out to be the case. But
Yeah.
he goes to the office and he basically beats Pac to death or close to death,
Yeah.
and the opening of the episode is him dragging Pac to the police station, and he tells the police, "Go ahead and shoot me. I'm already dead. This is the man that killed me."
Mhm.
And then we cut
Which is
back.
kind of an interesting premise. Like I was like, okay, like I want to see where this is going.
Yeah, on its own, yeah, sure, it's kind of interesting. But then the rest of the episode happens, and none of
Yeah.
the plot that actually builds up to it is remotely interesting whatsoever. And
Yeah, like I feel like it kind of goes so far away from that like opening that by the time we get to the towards the end, I kind of forgot like, oh yeah, it opened with him like dragging his corpse and talking about how he was already dead and stuff.
and why take him to the police if I mean, like you've
Yeah,
already beat the absolute living shit out of him. He's probably dead.
yeah,
Why
yeah.
have you dragged yourself to the police station? I don't know. I it feels contrived for that big moment, and that big moment is fine for another story. Like I feel like
Mhm,
if you'd given me that opening scene and you said, right, you decide what the rest of the story is,
mhm.
I probably would have went down some sort of avenue of like, oh, it's like a mystery and
Mhm.
someone's after him, he doesn't know who it is, and or
Yeah.
something like that. Like make the
Mhm.
fact that the man who killed me is the sort of focus of the episode, whereas the rest of it's just this really bad kind of workplace drama with him being an
Yeah.
asshole, and then this prank that goes wrong. Like, it somehow manages to make everything as non-interesting as it could possibly be.
Yeah. I mean, my first thought was it was going to be some type of time travel thing. Like he could,
Oh man,
see into the future, this guy was going to kill him or something. So he's going to kill him first
I
or
can see
something
that.
like that, which I thought could be interesting. But yeah, it's just so much like doesn't happen. I watched this like late last night, like after I got home. And when I woke up this morning, I was like, all right, so what was the episode about last night? And it took me probably like like 5 minutes before I could remember it. Like I feel like it was that forgettable.
I'm glad I watched this right before we recorded because I literally credits rolled and I'm like, Tim, it's time to go. That was my process, and I'm glad I did that because I don't think I would have remembered it that well.
Yeah, and
The characters are very unlikable. Dylan McDermott's just an asshole,
yeah,
but not in like a fun way where he's just sleazy and not appealing.
and
Sophie, she, I mean, as much as she's kind of a victim to him, she's still
mhm.
kind of annoying. Same
I
with
thought she,
Pac. They all just kind of bicker. There's a lot of bickering going on
yeah,
between them.
and I didn't really think she was that good an actor. Like I don't know. There's something about her performance. I don't know if it's something she was doing on purpose, but I don't know. It felt like a lot of stuff she said, like it seemed like almost kind of slow to me, like she was thinking about her lines, like right before she would say them or something. And I don't
Well,
know. It felt kind of weird.
obviously with her accent, clearly English isn't her first language, and I'm
Yeah,
wondering if maybe she hadn't done much acting in English before this, and
maybe.
maybe the reason why her lines were kind of awkward is because she was actually having to
Yeah,
think about the English, because maybe she can speak English, but she's not confident in it yet.
yeah,
It's not just
and
natural. Maybe that's why it sounds a bit stilted. Um,
yeah,
or actually completely possible is that it's not that she's unconfident. It's just that maybe the director said to her, "Oh, speak
right.
slow so that people will definitely understand you through the accent."
Yeah, it could have
And
been something like that.
and that's led to this really kind of weird performance where she feels
Yeah,
like she's slowing down all of her words so that that's
yeah. And also, and it's just it's maybe like one of my least favorite endings that you can get in a story or a movie where, basically it turns out like it was a prank, like, oh no, like it was just a joke, like nothing was really happening. It's like, oh, well, that's not interesting.
Yeah, I mean, at least Dylan McDermott's going to prison now because he
Yeah,
beat a man to death. So that's
yeah. I'm sure he's done other things that probably deserve to.
probably.
Yeah.
Even the Crypt Keeper segments, like he has this theme for the two segments where he's like into DIY and he's
Yeah.
like building things, and it really doesn't really relate to the episode at all, but
Yeah.
they stick with it. They really keep this theme of DIY. And I remember complaining late last season about one of the segments feeling completely out of place, and I wonder if this is
Yeah.
just going to be a running thing where the segments with him just feel like, oh, they just picked something random rather than something that related to the episode.
Yeah, I wonder if they either just pick random stuff or maybe if there's like if they just film a bunch of segments and then try to fit it in when they can, like, and maybe it's supposed to be something else originally and then they're just like, just throw that in there.
Yeah, maybe the
I don't
last
know.
little line where he says, "Oh, this story's called this," is just like the ADR.
Yeah.
You never see him. Like it's always as it's going into the book. It's
Yeah,
never. Yeah, maybe they could just do that a little bit later. Yeah, I could see that.
sure.
Um, even the puns were kind of shit though. I remember like the opening segment where he keeps dropping these puns like my big screen TV was probably the best one, but a lot of the
Oh
other
yeah.
ones it was like DI. What was it said? It wasn't DIY. It was I don't know. Oh, it's
I
bugging
don't
me.
remember, but I feel like the only acceptable thing would be like DI die or something.
That's why I'm not remembering it. It was really bad. There was like three things in a row where he inserted. Did you know that thing where he inserts a word to do with death or something horror esque in place of
Yeah.
another word? He did that like three times in a row, and every single one was a bit of a thud. It was like, oh, that was rough. Like, I just felt forced, and it didn't really work. And he was doing it too often as well. Like it was too frequent, so it minimised any of the impact that any of them could have had.
Dang.
So that was a rough episode. Like Crypt Keeper bits were rough.
Yeah.
The main plot was just kind of boring and shit. The characters were dull and uninteresting and kind of annoying, honestly.
Yeah.
There was no fun like cinematic stuff going on or fun even practical gore effects or anything like that. It was just completely
Yeah.
mundane and
There's there was that little thing where he started like envisioning people with like boils and stuff, but I don't even remember why that happened. Like,
it's because he's worried because he thinks that's what's going to happen to him. He's imagining people with tumors in their body,
okay.
so he was like
Uh,
worried it's happening to him. So he starts to envision it in everyone else. So
okay. So I thought it was like a little weird because at first you think it's like a side effect of the drug or whatever, but then it's like, well, the stuff they gave him was just kind of nothing.
yeah, I think it
Right.
was just his fear of this happening to
Okay.
him. So he started to daydream about it happening to everyone else.
But I mean, even that though, it's like it wasn't really that visually interesting or, you know, like so crazy that it was cool or anything.
Yeah. Because even a lot of the other bad episodes that we've criticised, there's usually something fun about them. This
Yeah.
one, I legitimately can't. I cannot think of a legitimate positive. I'm trying to really hard. I'm trying really hard to think of something positive that I can say about this episode, and I can't.
Yeah.
I kind of hate all of it.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. This is, if I ever go to watch the series again, this is like a definite skip episode.
Yes, I would agree with that. And most shows, I would never skip an episode. But the great thing about an anthology is that it doesn't matter. You can skip as many
Yeah.
as you like because they're all standalone things. But anyway,
Definitely.
so there you go. That is This Will Kill You, Season 4, Tales of the Crypt. Let us know what you thought of the episode in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on Twitter at mail_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the channel and everything we do here, head over to patreon.com/mailfuzztv. Give us some support over there. One of the things you get, actually, is you get these a week early, these Tales from the Crypt reviews. So that's the thing. But otherwise, guys, that is us. So thank you very much for watching. Keep watching Scary TV, and we'll see you next time.